So where do you draw that line between freedom of speech and sedition? Does such a line need to be drawn at all? That will be a big debate tonight. But meanwhile, the headlines have shifted away from the visit of the interlocutors to the row over Arundhati Roy's comments. Are these comments just going to hurt the fragile peace process in Kashmir? Let's start with our newsmaker, one of the interlocutors, Radha Kumar, joining us from Srinagar. Now, Radha, your panel has been meeting a series of different voices, militants in jail, young students, mainstream politicians, and hopefully the separatists or the separatist politicians have refused to meet your panel. There is a great deal of paranoia in the rest of India about dealing with this sentiment called Azadi. But yet you are a panel that represents the government of India. And the government of India has a very clear, defined position on this issue of freedom for Kashmir. How then do you go into these talks and tackle people you meet who do express, as that young girl did, a sentiment of separatism?
The lessons learned from a peace process and for peacemakers is that you begin always by listening to what people have to say. You don't have to find what you hear palatable, but you do have to listen.
Well, that's quite simply put, that even if you don't find it palatable, you do have to listen. But the raging debate in the rest of the country, and are you worried that this will hamper your initiative, is whether somebody like Syed Ali Shah Gilani, whether somebody like Arundhati Roy should have been able to talk about Azadi for Kashmir in a sense with so much ease and alacrity.
Azadi has many different meanings to many different people. It's a very creative term. I don't think that we need to worry about what people say. Always in our country and actually across most of South Asia, when an initiative is started, the rest of the country begins with saying no. Naysaying is a very common reaction in our part of the world. We have to wait. And our challenge is to turn the naysaying into a yay-saying. That is part of the peacemaking process.
But
so I'm not worried.
You're not worried, but given that you do officially represent, as I said, the government that appointed this panel, and the government has made it clear inside Parliament that Azadi is a non-negotiable to the extent that the position, even the Home Minister, while calling Jammu and Kashmir a unique problem that needs a unique solution, nobody is willing to contemplate freedom. So to that extent, when you listen to people talking about Azadi, but you can't negotiate on it, what does that do to that conversation?
Let me say two different things about this. Number one, it appears to me that you and other, perhaps people in Parliament, I'm not aware of that debate at the moment, are interpreting Azadi rather narrowly as a form of territorial independence, sovereignty or whatever. That may not necessarily be the interpretation. I cannot say it is, I cannot say it is not. At the beginning of a process, however, you have to let people speak, you have to let them say whatever is in their mind, even if it is something that you do not appreciate. And you will find that if you listen and if you talk, something emerges as a solution which was not envisaged at the beginning and was, let me say, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that has been ruled out.